welcome to this edition of Popcorn Diaries, and this is our special Oscar wrap-up edition. First off, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who came out last night and stuck it out past 11 o'clock to watch the Oscars. We had a great time. We had a great turnout. We gave away lots of prizes and did lots of trivia, and it was just overall a great show. So again, thanks to everybody who came out. So let's talk about the show. Neil Patrick Harris, Adriana, what did you think?
I actually really liked what he did with the show. I know that certain people thought his humor was a little dry, a little maybe not so out there, and that maybe it fell a little short. But I think he's really still playing Barney a little bit.
A little bit. I
mean, it just felt like Barney was on stage. I'm kind of used to him doing that lately. You know, ever since rolling out of How I Met Your Mother, it seems like he's really, really stuck in that role. So he brought it to the stage again.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if they ask him back for a second time. Personally, I thought the opening number was pretty darn good.
Oh, that opening number was amazing.
Yeah, great choreography, just everything fit really good, well rehearsed, well done.
The effects for that were just astounding. I mean, to see, the years of cinema roll by on the screen, and it was just so seamless, so well done. His timing was on point.
Yep.
So that was really great to see.
So let's talk about some of the surprises. And you and I didn't pick very strongly and certainly got caught by surprise on the two big winners, of course, and that was Birdman and
the Grand Budapest Hotel. That was kind of a surprise for me. I really thought that American Sniper was going to take a few more. Judging by the response it has gotten in the theaters.
Yep, agreed.
The type of publicity that it's gotten, I really thought that it was much more of a contender for the Best Picture. I mean, this thing has grossed so much money worldwide to date, still in the theaters.
Yep.
You just thought that this was really going to take a few more. Really surprising to see that Grand Budapest Hotel took that many.
Yeah, it took 4 Oscars, as did Birdman. And and I thought Boyhood would certainly do way better than it did. It only got 1 Oscar, as did the American Sniper movie. Big surprises there.
Yeah, you never can predict what the Academy is going to choose, and the public leans one way and the Academy leans another.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's very, very difficult to predict what is actually going to take the cake. I mean, there are certain years where, the year of Return of the King, it was due. That trilogy was building momentum the past 2 years, and you knew that it was time for it to take some Oscars home. But in a year like this, where there's just such a mix of individual films and some, powerhouse contenders like Whiplash, The Imitation Game, you just don't know how to predict these things.
I thought there was some great entertainment and some great presentations and great acceptance speeches there. We have to talk about Lady Gaga's performance. Say what you will about her as an entertainer. I think she showed the world that she's got the pipes, she can sing it, and she can bring it. And, of course, the big surprise of the night, in my opinion, was bringing out Julie Andrews after that number was complete.
Yeah, that was definitely a wonderful number to see. It seems like the last year or so, she has really toned down her persona. In years past, we saw her come out with some really crazy outfits and gowns, and half the time you couldn't see her face, or just full of makeup, just really out there. And this year, even though the gown was still very eye-catching and very big, it was a lot more subdued than what we have seen from her in past years. And I think she's trying to get a little more serious in her career, it seems. And this is definitely going to bring that forward in the next year to come. A lot more serious from her.
Yeah. So let's talk about maybe the creepiest moment of the Oscars. Okay, we're not talking about when Neil was out there in his underwear paying homage to Birdman.
Although that was not a good moment.
That was pretty entertaining. But when John Travolta was on stage with Idina Menzel and he was touching her face, definitely awkward. I mean, they tried to laugh it off, but shivers.
Yeah, I don't know how long this skit is going to go on. Horribly butcher her name, and unfortunately she took a lot of flack for that. A lot of Twitter and a lot of things that were going around about him botching her name. And now they come back this year and they just highlight it again. So I'm hoping this is the last year we see this combination. Need to really break up that duo. It is not working. It is really awkward.
So, of course, for the big finish at the very end when they did Best Picture, caught us all by surprise.
Yeah.
I don't think any one of us thought that Birdman was going to get it it. Although Birdman is a great, great film, no doubt about it. And we had somebody thank their dog on stage. I think that
was
is
a
first.
Yeah.
So there's always firsts at the Oscars. But overall, I thought it was a well-done show. I thought it was pretty good. I think Neil Patrick Harris will probably be asked to come back again.
I think he has it in him to do a couple more. He didn't do a stellar job, but he didn't do a bad job.
Right.
I think he's got it in him to bring a lot more to the table for the Oscars.
Yeah.
We also had highlights of the night, definitely the pearl dress.
Yes.
That was definitely got a lot of coverage on all the news networks.
Yeah.
Everybody grabbed her. I mean, that was a stellar dress.
Yeah. Well, there was lots of good outfits all the way around, and I think the white dress was pretty much prominent of the evening.
It was prominent. There was still a lot of red going on.
Yeah.
Definitely Scarlett stood out with her emerald gown not being one of the prevalent colors of the night. So that was nice to see that she was able to stand out from the crowd. And speaking of crowds, we did miss a few people in the crowd.
Yeah, some of the big hitters weren't there. Where was Tom Hanks?
Where was Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt?
Yeah, if they were there, they certainly didn't show them on camera. So some of the big hitters were either not there or not shown for some reasons, and it did make me wonder.
Yeah, it did make me wonder. I mean, we did have all of the nominees were front and center on stage and in the front row, certainly, as well as the presenters from this year. But yeah, there were so many missing. I mean, Sean Penn was a presenter, but we did not see him on camera until he came out on stage.
Yeah.
We'll see if this is a trend that's going to be happening next year.
Well, and speaking of next year, again, we had such a great turnout and such a great time holding the Oscars at the library. I'm hoping we'll be able to do it next year.
Hopefully the weather will comply with next year, yeah.
It was a little chilly.
Definitely was a bit chilly last night, so we are very grateful for all of you that stayed with us through the night.
Okay. Well, regardless of whether you had a chance to see the Oscars or not, we do encourage all of you to go out and check out the movies that were nominated for Best Picture. They are all very, very good movies, so don't pass those up when they come available. Next, for Popcorn Diaries.
There are a few good things coming your way. We are definitely going to be talking about a lot more films and really breaking them down. We do kind of think that we might do a love-hate kind of episode where Joe or I will pick a movie that we love and the other hates and go head-to-head.
I can't imagine that happening.
And see how that pans out. And finally, we must be said that we both had our top picks this year. Unfortunately, I lost.
Well.
We did keep score throughout the night, and Joe did come out on top, so he has bragging rights for the next year. I hope next year I get to take you down.
Well, I got just a little bit luckier, that's all.
So thank you for joining us on this episode of Popcorn Diaries. As always, I'm Adriana.
And I'm Joe.
And this was Popcorn Diaries.